Hello and welcome to another episode of the D1 Daily Podcast. Burkie and Roons here. Burkie, it is the middle of the week and we're getting ready for week 2. But, two of our most prominent listeners have voiced very strong opinions towards you and the podcast. And if I were to ID these to our two favorite callers, it's Duhawk Mike from Arcadia, Feisty Fitzy from Worcester County.
Yes.
They're our two favorite people, and they noticed that
they're not our two they're on our short list. Let's not be exclusive. They're two of our favorites. Yes.
Well said. They noticed that we all participated in a piece on ESPN.com getting ready for the season. Very fun. And Ryan McGee participated, Kylie McDaniel participated, David DeLucci participated. Yes. We love that out of Luch. And not just our favorite left-handed hitter, but also, a writer of college baseball stuff. And so the point of hypocrisy that was brought up is that Chris Burke did in fact name a preseason Player of the Year, Ace Reese.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Did I get ahead of myself?
I didn't. I did not name a preseason Player of the Year. I was asked for a prediction for the Golden Spikes, okay?
Yes.
And so as a baseball analyst and ESPN paying my bills, I was asked to write this article, and in that I was asked to predict who would be the Player of the Year. And I tried to make it hard on myself by not choosing Brock Chalowski, who hit 2 home runs yesterday. Hey, now.
Yeah.
Don't let Rock get hot. But if you read the piece, Roons, which I'm sure you'll direct our listeners to do so, my prediction was that if Ace Reese is to make all those in the fake ranking world live up to their fake ranking of the Bulldogs, that he could be the Player of the Year. But there's no award. This is not nobody gets a title out of it. It's just simply a prediction, Roons, which I'm completely in favor of predictions. I think that's really good hot stove conversation. It's the fake awards that I have a problem with, Roons. Okay?
Yeah.
Have I made that distinction clear enough? I'd love to hear your rebuttal. How am I falling short? Because, first of all, I love the smoke. I'm here for the smoke. Feisty Fitzy, Coach Farron, I am here for the smoke. As John Morant once said, I'm crawling up into the chimney. Like I am, give me the smoke, okay? I'm here for it.
Yes.
But I will not or ever declare a player the preseason Player of the Year. That doesn't exist. It is fake. But if you're asking me to predict who could be the real season Player of the Year, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a prediction as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, so it's
that distinction clear.
Yeah, I think it's clear. And I just want to say my two big takeaways is on behalf of the podcast and ESPN, I'd like to offer an apology to Ace Reese that you're not receiving an award for this prediction. You will not get a trophy or a label or anything.
Nobody's going to call you up to bat as the Chris Burke predicted player of the year. That's not going to be in your walk-up bio.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of other favorite friends of the pod,
by the way, in that deal?
Oh, I did. Well, let me finish my thought.
Don't tell me you said Rock.
No, let me finish my thought. And then what I did is so Fence-Straddling, you're going to lose your mind. Coach Neal, Dave Neal, and any ESPN play-by-play guys out there, if you want to trigger Chris Burke in the middle of an April broadcast, you need to say, Burkie, didn't you name Ace Reese your preseason Player of the Year nationally? That really could get a broadcast off the rails.
That will.
Yeah.
We're going to look up. It'll be the 6th, and I still will be talking about it. So
okay.
Yeah.
So you know what I did, Burkie? They asked us to predict a Player of the Year, and so instead of me following instructions and having to really stick my neck out there and make one decisive choice, what I did is said I wrote about how great Drew Burress is, and then used the word but. This is the year of the shortstop in college baseball and proceeded to name 6 shortstops.
Okay.
Yeah. Monster
Which
Milam,
is you.
Eric. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's right.
And can I just say that for our listeners, and you guys have a lot more track record with Coach Rooney than you do with me in the podcast space. He's been doing so many D1 podcasts, but my relationship with Coach Rooney, away from the podcast, that you guys will find to be very true as we do this through the years, hopefully, is he is the best fence straddler of all time. What do I mean? Roons, do you like my jacket? Not really, Burkie. It kind of looks too old schooly. However, the color combo is fantastic, and I really love the logo. Like that's what you'll get for Roons. So when he picked the player of the year, he said, I really want to pick Drew Burress because he's such an insane talent. However, I'm going to pick 6 shortstops. That way he can go back and be like, well, I was really right in there somewhere. I was right.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that said, I think it's really not about receipts for me. It's more about just like I'm a people pleaser, right?
No, it's not about receipts. That's a good point. No,
Yeah.
you're not going to like stick your chest out. You're just going to cover your tracks, not really for the sake of looking smart, just because you actually love everybody and you just you want as much room possible to love everybody.
Yes, I thrive on positivity. I'm the Ted Lasso of college baseball podcast. That's what we're doing.
Except for the Eagles?
Yeah.
Is that where your positivity runs short? How about the 76ers?
When I do reference my Philadelphia sports fan, which is hardwired in there, that's a problem. That's not a positive. That's not a positive. Yeah,
we actually go to a darker place there.
Get me going on fantasy sports, or even like I'm not afraid to. I put it on Instagram. Coach Rooney went 3-7 in the D1 Baseball Weekly Picks, which puts me in dead stinking last place. So yeah, it's going to be hard to defend my 2024 national championship from dead last place after week 1. We got to make some quick adjustments, Burkie.
That's okay. Long season, Roons. Long seasons.
Which is the perfect segue to, let's do this. The segue I was going to take us to is volatility. So let's put a pin in volatility for a second.
Yep.
Do you have a hey now moment or recognition from the midweek games? I actually have one.
You do? Why don't you go first? Yeah.
All right. So Kole Klecker was a freshman All-American at TCU. Like he was in the rotation. He's a Phoenix
he was like
kid.
Crazy pitchability the year they went to the World Series.
Yes, but it did feel like there was some smoke and mirrors to it, and then it was like 88-92 with like not an out pitch slider. And he was so competitive, and he just threw the ball in the strike zone fearlessly. And he's literally starting super regional games as a true freshman, Omaha games, etc. He was awesome. And then it was 2 years of struggle. And then he goes to Arizona State this offseason. He clearly was not going to pitch at TCU this year, and a chance to reinvent himself. And again, he's coming home for his last year of college baseball. Burkie, Arizona State lost a fall game to Cal Baptist, 21-5. Kole Klecker started that game and gave up 10 of those runs. And I know it's a fall scrimmage, but it's just like, oh, baby. And I will tell you, one of the number one reasons why Arizona State was not ranked in the preseason is because they announced Kole Klecker as a projected rotation piece. Everyone's just saying hey, Kole Klecker has struggled for 2.5 years. If this is a weekend starter. So, that's a lot. I'm putting a lot on the kid right there. Anyway, Arizona State's off to a good start. They look really good. He pitched last night against UConn in a Tuesday game. I watched quite a bit of it. Man, it looked very much like freshman year Kole Klecker, where he had a breaking ball for a strike. He threw his fastball at the top of the zone. He pitched to contact. He looked different. So anyway, a Kole Klecker, if you can hear my voice, hey now, man, I see you. That's the version of you that I'm sure you've been looking for 2.5 years, and that would make a big difference for Arizona State.
So love that. Because we love when kids bounce back. We love when kids reappear. It is one of the neat things about the portal era. I'm going to give you a hey now, okay, on Coastal. Coastal, I think their run prevention is going to be world-class again. I'm worried about their run production, Roons. Now, it's so far they've played 4 games and they've scored 18 runs. Fairfield and College of Charleston. Now, the great news is they've played 4 games and they've given up 7 runs. Right. So there's plenty to be excited about, and they don't ask how, they ask how many, and it won't shock me if Coastal rides a similar formula to Omaha this year as they did last year, which is just world-class run prevention and just enough offense. But I would just say, hey now, like this Coastal offense is not exactly playing at a high level. And so that just kind of has my attention. All right. So I'm just throwing this out there. We missed a hey now. Did you know that Kentucky stole 23 bases last weekend?
Did they really?
That was insane. My last hey now from a team perspective is Cincinnati went down and shut out Auburn. That got my attention, Roons. 5 hits, shutout with their midweek guys.
Right.
Now, you tell me, Roons, does that make us more excited about Cincinnati, or does it make us even more concerned about an Auburn offense that won 2 of their 3 games this weekend by a score of 2-1?
Yeah, the answer is yes. Like I think Jordan Bishel's whole career is a hey now moment. Like he just keeps he takes Central Michigan to like 3 straight regionals, and like they're not just going to regionals. They're like eliminating Miami of Florida, and then they're in the South Bend regional and they're the finalist. I mean, he and what he did at Cincinnati or what he's doing in Cincinnati. But and this is the perfect segue, Burkie, into volatility, because rankings are always controversial.
Yes.
It's like that GIF, if you can imagine that one housewife, I think her name's Lindsay Armstrong, housewives of fill in the town, whatever. And she says, "How dare you?" And she's screaming and pointing at someone. That's rankings, right? Like the second you put them out, you just have all these people coming at you on social media with the "how dare you," like misranking your team's a personal affront. But
right.
I do think, like in the beginning of the year, you see this in other sports. People say, "Why do we even have preseason rankings?" Like
yes.
We have no data points, and and we all know it's marketing as much as anything else, even though a lot of time goes into it. But the question is, how much volatility do we put into week 1 and 4 weeks? Like I'll give you an example. This will be a good kickoff.
Okay.
Right now, Mississippi State is ranked ahead of Auburn. I'm certain that's true.
Yes.
They're both very highly ranked. If I were to go full bore volatility right now, and this is not a perfect example because Auburn struggled, but maybe it really reveals my conviction. I actually would have Auburn ranked ahead of Mississippi State, even given what I've seen. I'll tell you why. I believe Auburn's lineup is going to fix itself, assuming Chris Rembert's going to get healthy, and it's just an ankle injury. And I'm pleasantly surprised with Auburn's pitching. They're pitching like they're actually pitching fine.
Yeah.
Mississippi State just feels like 2.5 months away from the best version of themselves to me. And first year everything. So anyway, the question becomes, like, do you act on that or do you let it play out?
Right. And we graciously let the world know of how feisty Fitzy was coming at me on our private text thread. We let that be known to the world. And so I've accepted his shot, and I've had my rebuttal, and we're going to have Fitzy on to tell his side of certain stories. One of which is this concept of poll mechanics, Roons. And I know that what you guys do coming up with the rankings every week is an impossible job, especially preseason rankings. Like that is just a really, really hard job. I get it. I'm not even saying, as much as I dislike the term poll mechanics because I like to get Fitzy all worked up. I get it. Once we're 20, 25 games into the season, you're not just going to start moving teams around on a whim because of a good or bad weekend. That makes total sense to me. But when the top 25 preseason rankings they're guesses, they're predictions, kind of like we were talking about earlier, right? They're predictions of what we think will happen. Once we actually start to get real data points, I'm not saying Oklahoma's the perfect example of this, right? You don't have to go Oklahoma unranked to Oklahoma ranked 3rd because all of a sudden they have the best resume. I'm not saying that. However, you could put them in the top 10, I think. I mean, like they didn't exactly do it with smoke and mirrors. It was dominant arms. It was big time run production on as big a stage as we have early in the sport. So I'm not saying you got to say, well, they have the best resume, they should make rank number 1. But the data points we have, and oh, by the way, they won again yesterday, right? Or they won again Monday. Excuse me. The data points that we have speak very highly of the team that they have. So I would just I get it. It's hard. I understand the idea of poll mechanics as we get deeper into the depth of the data points. But I think on the front end, I would encourage my dear friends that do the rankings. Don't be afraid to be a little more volatile. Like it's okay. Run a team up the ladder, move them down the ladder, because they haven't earned the spot that they started the year in. That was just a prediction.
Yep. I think again, I'm a practicer of poll mechanics. I get why they exist. Otherwise we'd all be doing rankings 20, like to evaluate 50 teams after every week is not, it's
from
a lot.
Blank slate. Yeah. You wouldn't do, it's not a blank slate.
Yeah.
Except when it is a blank slate.
Yeah. Well, and here's the question. Like, I think the poll mechanic part that drives me bonkers is teams get really good at this on occasion, is they go 2-2 in a week and they lose a stinker of a midweek game, but they win a series in like the SEC or the ACC. Yes. Or like, and you're just like, and the poll mechanics would tell you, hey, midweek games are a crapshoot and they won a weekend series and like leave it alone. But like Mississippi State's the one that I guess I'm going to have that fan base coming at me. Like, like two very close wins, and they didn't look very offensive. Like, they don't look like the number 4 team in the country to me right now. Like, they look more like 24 than 4. They look more like 14 than 4. So
put it this way: if Texas A&M had been ranked 4th and Mississippi State had been ranked 25th, from what we've seen right now, who would argue that? Nobody. I mean, Texas A&M looks like they're the offense they were supposed to be last year.
Yep.
So far, just 4 games.
Yeah.
But again, those are the only real results that we have. So yes, I mean, I agree with your point. I just think, in general, I think poll mechanics make sense once we're 20, 25 games in. Your example's perfect. A 2-2 week, but you won your weekend series, which we know matters the most, in your conference. Unless some team has some insanely loud sweep on the road and they were right next to you to start with, all that makes perfect sense to me. I just think early in the year, we need to not be afraid. This is my suggestion.
Right.
College baseball family, don't be afraid to be volatile. I think it makes perfect sense early, because we do know that once you get into the season, it does become harder to do that. And then sometimes teams get stuck or they get overvalued just because they started off super high.
Yeah. So do you mind, Burkie, if I give you just some weekend one reactions that I guess would be takes? And I'm curious, like, if I was like going full volatility mode, which is kind of like the road you're taking us down, I would act on these things. But can I throw it? Let me. So, like you mentioned, A&M, watched a decent amount of that. Like that, they looked awesome. The offense looked incredible. Watched a little bit of Texas. I remain very convicted on Texas. I like that team a lot. Vandy went 1-2. We took them out of the rankings, and that was a long conversation. But we, like, you kind of feel like with Vandy, they're going to have so many opportunities to play their way back in. I left Vandy's weekend so much more encouraged. They were very physical.
Yes.
Which has been the number one criticism of their offense.
Yeah. Brody Johnson and Colin Barzey. And again, Colin's got to do it for a long stretch, but and Braden Holcomb, that looks the part of a middle of the lineup in the SEC for sure.
Yeah, and Logan Johnstone is that he's every bit of 210 pounds. And so anyway, that and they pitched Burkie. Like Fennel was Fennel.
Yeah.
Austin Nye was great.
Right.
And then even Taylor, the kid from Georgia, not Nick Taylor, but I'll think of it. Nate Taylor. Yeah, like he was good. When if you the game Oklahoma State run ruled Vandy, it was the bullpen that got run ruled. It was not Nate Taylor. He threw up like 5 zeros. So anyway, Vandy went 1-2. I'm encouraged. Here's the other one. Burkie, I watched some Tennessee highlights, and I'm having a tough time evaluating Tennessee with clear eyes because they don't seem as spooky as what we got to know in 2002 to 2005 or 2022 to 25, where it's just like these monstrous, scary, like, Liam Doyle's and Andrew Fisher's and, go on down the line to the team from, the Drew Gilberts of the world. This team looks very talented, but they're younger and not as physically imposing. And so doesn't mean they're worse. I don't think they're as good as those other teams, but I don't know. Like I looked at Tennessee and I was like, my brain was in two spots. It was like, they look really talented. They don't look as scary as they've been in the past. How do I merge those two thoughts?
So you think Ford, Brown, Clark, Chapman, and Lawless are not a physical top 5 in the order?
So Lawless, completely unproven to me. Chapman,
But you just said physical.
Well, like, but it's got to be it's got to be playable physicality,
okay.
right? Like,
and he's what has he hit 2 or 3 homers already? Like I'm just telling you, it's a pretty physical. And Grimmer's hurt.
Yeah, I keep hearing
and
that.
And Arvidsson hasn't pitched yet. Blaine Brown is. Did you see his outing yesterday?
He's the scariest guy. Like he's the
yeah. And Henry Ford's not exactly a little dude. I mean, that's 6'2", 215 pounds.
Yeah, but you're not like Henry. Like, here's the thing about Ford. Like he's a middle of the field hitter, which I love. Like he hit a home run to center field, but he's got that Virginia inside out with a lot of power. He's not like just he's not Christian Moore. He's a different player than Christian Moore and Blake Burke. And those other names. They have physical size, but like Penn State's got physical size, right? Like no offense to Penn State, but like there's a lot of teams with physicality. I'm just saying like this.
You're saying the track record isn't there that scares you like teams in the past.
Yeah, and then you get to the bottom of the order, and like I think Jay Abernathy's going to be a great player, but he didn't appear to have a great first weekend. And then Ariel Antigua feels like a defender more than a hitter. So anyway, but I know these kids are talented, right? Like even Tegan Coons, right? That's how you say it. Yeah, it's like I'm not looking at him thinking that's Chase Dolander or Chase Burns. But again, like he's really talented. Like I'm not saying he's not talented. So I don't know. Tennessee's a lot to process for me right now.
Yeah. I think Tennessee's pretty talented. I think that'll play itself out. Marin's hurt, Grimmer's hurt. And Arvidsson, none of them are hurt, like scary hurt. They're all Marin played game 1 and then just hasn't played the last 3. Arvidsson could have pitched this weekend. He didn't. I think he'll pitch this coming weekend. And then, Grimmer's a 6'3", 210-pound left-handed hitter that you like, I like. I think that team has a lot of pieces and has a chance to be at the top 4 in the SEC. I really do. I'll give you a couple real dude alerts on my radar. Rock Chalowski, I said it earlier. He had 2 homers yesterday. Don't let Rock get hot. It could get real scary. Jake Brown went back-to-back 2-home-run games. So he hit 2 home runs on Sunday. LSU played again on Monday. Some of these teams are playing on Mondays. It's interesting early in season. Jake Brown we talked about Caden Sorrell being crazy tooled up. Like, Jake Brown pretty tooled up now. He's a scary hitter. Jay Johnson, very, very high on him for good reason. Carson Tenney hit 2 home runs for Texas. Okay. And Carson Tenney preseason, I'm in on Carson Tenney. He hits the ball as hard as anybody in America. So those are 3 what I think could be All-American players, Chalowski, Brown, and Tenney. All 3 of them had multi-homer games in the midweek. So just a little real dude alert in the midweek from 3 guys that are like, I think are going to be main characters, as the kids like to say, throughout the course of this season.
I love that. Do you like? I felt like Carson Tinney. I had a Notre Dame game midway through the last year, Burkie, and like there was a legitimate Golden Spikes argument for Carson Tinney,
Mm-hmm.
and then he was fine at the end, but there was some swing and miss this summer, and then I felt like everyone just completely bailed on the Carson Tinney train. Where are you kind of like in the middle of that, like? Or in the like, do you find yourself in a middle ground there with Tinney?
Oh, no,
Or
I never bailed on the Carson Tinney.
okay,
Like
so
I'm in on the Carson Tinney train. I'm in first class on that train.
nice,
I think Sloss will probably be perfect for him.
good call.
I'm sure he'll really dial in on his heat map and be more selective. And I just would be shocked if he doesn't hit 20 homers. And I understand, 20 homers at the dish is a big deal, but he's the type of guy that if he impacts the ball, it does not matter what yard he's playing in.
Yep. I love that. I love these conversations with ourselves in the beginning of the year where it's like you're really struggling to like properly evaluate a team, and the sample sizes are so small. One of my other favorite observations from my own brain recently, I love the fact that I still don't know who the best team in the ACC is.
Yes.
I really love that. Like, and I'm still very excited about Louisville, even though they had the worst weekend of any of the, ranked teams, really.
Mm-hmm.
That's another great example of poll mechanics. Like, Vandy had a better weekend than Louisville, even though they were both 1 and 2. But, Vandy comes out of the rankings and Louisville just drops because the preseason had them higher. But
Right.
I also think we all have great conviction in Louisville too, and they played without Zion Rose.
It's both. That's right. Yeah, they played without a star. The pitching it's a little worrisome. I mean, yesterday they win by 12, but that's because they scored 23 runs.
Right.
So yeah, I think I'm every bit as bullish on Louisville's position player group as I've ever been. I think they're going to continue to have a season. Louisville showed kind of the blueprint for a team like theirs last year, which is get in the dance, even if it's not playing home baseball. If you can figure out 5 pitchers, you need 5, and you have a world-class position player group, that's enough. It's enough if it goes your way. Now you got to play in the winner's bracket, right? But I will say I got one more hey now for you, and I did throw a Big Ten player in there, so forgive my 3 SEC choices. But Kyle Jones, who we missed out on last year for Florida, he actually hit 2 homers yesterday as well. And he went back to his old stopping grounds, Stetson, and hit 2 home runs. Have you seen him yet, Roons?
No.
Bro.
Good looking athlete.
Oh, as they like to say in the scouting industry, that's what they look like. I mean, it's
nice.
High-waisted, like
center fielder. Is that what he is?
Center fielder. So far on the season, 17 at-bats, 9 hits, 5 doubles, and a homer.
Yep.
I think he led off like every game so far with a double or something crazy like that. But I'm just telling you right now, Kyle Jones, I know Sully was devastated last year when he got hurt early, looking like a real dude early on.
That's awesome. I got a player that one player, Burkie, I really can't wait for you to get more eyes on is Landon Hairston of Arizona State. I think he's one of the best pure hitters.
Is this one of the Hairston? Is this one of the Hairston?
It's Scott's son. Did you ever play with Scott?
Did I play? I played against Scott like 1,000 times. And what position did Scott play? Hitter. He played hitter.
Yep.
What a hitter. That dude could impact the baseball.
He was high school and junior college teammates with Ian Kinsler, which is just hilarious and bonkers. But so Landon is he's probably like 5'11", left-handed hitter, plays left field and first base. I'm telling you, Burkie, he's so talented as a hitter. Like the hand-eye coordination's off the charts. The bat speed is off the charts. He's just not a monstrous kid. So here's what I wanted to say about Landon Hairston. And I've watched him a lot, so like it's kind of personal, even though I've never met him. I hate his at-bats right now. I hate them. hate his at-bats. And you know why I hate him? Because he was so good last year, and now I see him already trying to be more and chase it and all that stuff. And you know what? I haven't looked up his numbers. I'm sure they're amazing.
Roons.
Like I'm seeing him get all these. I'm seeing Landon Hairston run terrible at bats and still end up with a double or a home run because he's just so good. But anyway, I'm like, you could probably tell I'm mad at Landon Hairston, and his OPS is probably like 26,000.
Roons. How you hate this kid's at bats?
Yes.
He's 7 for 17 with 4 doubles, a homer, and 10 ribbies.
I'm telling you, his at bats are so gross right now. He's swinging at everything, and if you threw a white,
I didn't do it, Scott. I didn't do it.
Yes.
Here's what I will appreciate about that last comment by you, Roons.
Yes.
No fence-straddling. Like you just let it rip.
Yeah.
So
but
if you hate his at bats and he's currently over 1,000 OPS.
Yes.
Does that mean he's going to settle in somewhere around 1,500?
It means this is what it means when you're so good that you can actually swing at bad pitches and chase success and still pull it off anyway. But anyway, yes, I always worry about that.
I think Scott would admit he swung at a few wide ones in his day too.
Yes. And Landon's more discretionary than Scott, in my opinion. Yeah, Scott was wailing away. Goodness gracious.
He's swinging. He's swinging.
Yes.
And you knew he was swinging. And every time he swung the bat, it would, you would exhale if he didn't hit it, because if he did, it was damage. He just was a fascinating pro. Also very interesting, the Hairston brothers, how different they were. Like Jerry was way more like backside of the field, crazy athletic, like super utility. And Scott was a hitter. It's interesting.
Yes. Landon, if I was coaching him, I would not be a very good coach of him, because every time he made an out, I would say to Landon, that kid got you out. He's good enough to get you to make an out. I don't think so.
No way.
Yeah. Like you made that out. Just so we're clear, you did that, not him. So anyway, I'm being hard on him. He's in my top 5 favorite hitters in America right now. I cannot wait for you to see more of him. And that's my final thought, Burkie. I was wrong about the Big 12 so far. I thought the strength of that league was going to be the depth. I'm starting to think the strength of that league is going to be the top. Like I agree with what you said. Like TCU last weekend looked like a team that could win the whole thing. And some of the other teams like Kansas State, West Virginia, Arizona State, you mentioned Cincinnati. Yeah, like the top of the league really has me encouraged. There's some good clubs up there.
Yeah, there definitely are. And, one of the things about the depth of our current structure is that there's enough teams where hard to believe that all these conferences aren't going to have 3 or 4 that are really, really good, especially with the portal and, the ability to move all around. But fascinating, man. It's coming at us quick. It is. It always does. And it's there for us every day, just about, right? I mean,
so good.
What's so different about our sport? It's so fun, being a Tennessee guy and, that watching the fan base literally for the first time. I mean, obviously Coach Delmonico had some great teams and that era, he went to 3 College World Series, going into the Tennessee Hall of Fame, by the way, this year. But to watch fan bases fall in love with college baseball is to watch them realize how much the sport is there for them. And they're like, wait, it's not one game and then spend 6 days. And then, if we're really honest, like college football, you get 12 games, right? 3 of those, let's say you're a top 25 program, 3 of those you can't lose. There's 9 like Power 4 opponents, which really like 4 of those you can't lose.
Right.
You have like 5 games where you're like, man, here's our season. It's these 5 weeks. Think about that. The whole year, it's like 5 games. College baseball, it's like, man, we got these pre-conference games. Then you go through 30, somewhere between 27 and 30 conference games. And Roons, of the 30, how many could you lose? 25?
Yeah, easy.
I mean, and it's like when it's a big weekend, it's 3 days in a row. It's just so cool to watch the fan bases go, wait, I was missing this my whole life. How did I miss this? And so anyway, it was cool to see that tweet the other day you see that tweet from the PGA Tour, like media guy?
Oh yeah, super awesome. Like,
where is college baseball is kind of, it's pretty cool. Yeah,
Love
it is.
that.
It's pretty cool.
Yes. And the final note for me, Landon Hairston, I promise I'm not as mad at you as I think I am about your 1,300 OPS.
Don't back off, Roons.
Yeah.
Wear it.
Yeah,
But
let's
Scott,
go.
I didn't say it. It wasn't me.
Yeah, Scott's gonna punch a hole in my face next time I see him. So that's it. Week two upon us. Let's go. Enjoy it, everybody, and we'll catch you next time on the D1 Daily Podcast.